Hello. I wanted to make a different video this time around. This one, I'm going to be explaining a little bit about sort of the different things I learned while I was job hunting. I am a full-time accountant at the moment. I've held my position for a year and 3 months. It is an entry-level position. So I feel I do have a little bit of life experiences in that field of job hunting that I kind of want to share, of a couple of things that you may not read on those little blogs that other websites have up. Now, to give a little bit of history and background, I got my position back in May of 2014. I had just finished my graduate studies in December of 2013, and I finished my bachelor's degree in May of 2012. And it was the last semester of my senior year for my bachelor's studies, so around January 2012, I really started hitting up the job boards trying to find a full-time position, because I was like, holy cow, I'm about to graduate and I don't have any offers for a full-time position. So I was getting a little nervous, and I'd already had my application out for grad school, and thankfully that was accepted. Otherwise I would have been in a real panic. And so without further ado, let's just dive right into this. Or just, case in point, I did work, but not full-time positions in accounting. It was just little odd jobs here and there. Alright, so moving on. Alright, on resumes, point number one, on resumes and cover letters, words like hard worker, organized, motivated, attentive to detail, those words gets you nothing. They are generic, they are overused. Everybody puts that on their resume or cover letter or CV or portfolio somewhere, and they don't mean anything to potential employers. Honestly, you can do a lot better. If you want to say you are a quick learner, maybe if you're a computer programmer, you can say by the end of your first year, you had already programmed some sort of application that is now on the Android market, or within 6 months of your senior computer project, you had already developed a program that the school uses. Actual examples that proves that you're a hard worker, or that proves you're attentive to detail. You can't just say, oh yeah, I definitely am an organized person. They're like, great, how will that benefit our company? So you honestly got to go beyond that. You have to explain how you are those words. Now the next one is, the next couple of points for this first video is about the interview itself. And one thing I learned is that not all interviewers are going to be, well, I don't want to say, cowards, but they're not going to tell you the whole truth. If they don't like you, they're not going to tell you that to your face. They just want to get out of this as quick as possible too. They are almost as anxious and nervous as you are, mainly because their job isn't for the most part, their job isn't interacting with people. They're in front of the computers all day crunching numbers, or they're drawing something, or they're putting together a presentation that people are going to see by clicking through slides. They are not in the process of actually selling to people. Yes, there are those jobs, and those people are actually a lot better at interviewing than, for me, example, accounting. Accountants are terrible at interviewing people. They mostly just put that through HR. And so, if you're not, after that interview, if you're not a serious candidate, most people will still have that smile on your face, thank you for your time. And, you'll walk out thinking, all right, I think I did pretty well in that interview. And you're going to go in with this false sense of security that, hey, you may have a job after all. And then a week or two later, you receive that email that we're sorry we hired someone else. Or did you receive that email? Because that brings me on to my third point. And that is, not all companies will email you back. I understand when, for the general applicant that they're not going to respond to everyone. Especially the bigger companies, they're going to receive thousands upon thousands of applications. And they really can't respond to, those who maybe meet one of the qualifications. They just don't have enough time, manpower, energy to just say thanks for applying, but no, we're not considering you. But I've made it to some companies where I was actually at the second interview, where I was actually being interviewed by who would be the employer, the immediate supervisor. And I did the general, as soon as I got home, I wrote the letter saying, hey, thanks for the interview. I really like this about the company. I sent that letter. And then about a week later, or a week and a half, actually, I gave companies about 10 days of no response before I would talk to them, reach out to them and say, hey, just checking in, trying to get a little general time frame. Just wondering what I can expect as far as a decision being made. And even then, some of these companies still would not respond back to me. So generally after a month, I would say, okay, they have definitely moved on. They've either hired someone or they just dropped the entire pool of applicants. So, it's no news is pretty much bad news. You didn't get the job. If you don't hear anything back, and if you've tried reaching out to you and they still don't if they don't talk to you back, just keep on plugging away. My final point for this first video is that being attractive, being outgoing, or bubbly, or having a sense of style, it definitely helps. Now, I know a lot of you jerk-offs are going to agree with me. I don't consider myself too attractive of a person. I maybe have a few nice traits, but I'm willing to admit there are guys who are a lot more handsome than me, a lot more good-looking, a lot more attractive. And, those people, honestly, the honest truth is they have a better chance of landing a job at an interview. It's, not all interviews are shallow, but good looks, nice personality that, is very vibrant, that the people can sense, or that outgoing attitude, the extroverts, they have a higher chance of landing that job at an interview because, they're easy on the eyes. They're easy to get along with. And, whether you agree with that or not, it's just one thing I noticed. So, it's just, I'm going to get in this point in my second video, but it is a lot about selling yourself. You just got to know what your strengths are, what you can bring to the table, and what actual level you're at. What can you actually provide the company? And like I said, I'm going to bring that up in my second video.